Hi everybody, it's me, Dean Miller, the dog counselor, and I am back for another round of dog training tips and behavior analysis. And I really love connecting with you guys. So if you want to write up your questions, right down below in the little type thing. On my screen it's kind of over at an angle over here, but on yours it may be below. Either way, just type in your comments, questions. I'd be happy to talk to you about anything to do with dog training, dog counseling, dog behavior, dog psychology, your relationship with your dog. That's what we're here to discuss. So thank you so much for joining in. I want to thank all of our regulars who come in every week. It looks like there's quite a few of you starting to join already, and I want to thank you for that. I've been training dogs maybe about 15 years, something like that. And through the course of my reading, through everything I've done, life experience, I've developed a method of training that's based on the way dogs communicate with each other. It works fast. It works to the point pretty immediately. It's put in a way that dogs understand right away. So my method of training is not like where you go take 6 weeks of classes or 8 weeks of classes and learn how to sit and stay and lie down. I teach you in 90 minutes how to have a great relationship with your dog where you're forever changed and you and your dog go on to having a beautiful relationship. Some people take more follow-up, some people take less. Life with your dog. And I've always said if I don't have to explain it to the owner, I can achieve it much faster than that with the dog. I can have a good relationship and good listening skills going very quickly with the dog. I don't do anything mean or harsh. Nothing is heavy or negative. I just base my training and praise on the way dogs communicate with each other, so they get it. It's kind of like learning Spanish or learning French, and you're going to go to Mexico or Spain or France, and you're not going to connect with people. And I often say with people who work with dogs, or when you're yelling, when you're frustrated, that's like going up to a and so you get louder and you get more frustrated and you yell at them. It doesn't help them understand you, does it? What helps them understand you is to learn a few words in their language. And that's my approach to dog training. Just learn a few words in your dog's language. And words, even the word words is misleading because dogs don't speak in a spoken vocabulary way. Now, they do learn our words. They'll learn hundreds of our words. Some dogs have been known to learn thousands of words. There are dogs that have been trained to identify toys in the next room or objects or commands in the thousands, but that's rare. And I would say physical mechanics in the brain to make verbal words, to form them, and stay and lie down and come and all of these things. And my personal theory is that they love us so much, they bond with us so much that they want to reach across species lines to understand us. And what other animal on earth is going to do that? That is a beautiful relationship that only dogs really provide for us. Now, of course, there are animals. It's very common among dogs to bond or to partner or to team up with humans. I actually saw a documentary one time where they were comparing dogs and humans. People think they look alike, so they must be alike. But a wolf is more independent, and a dog is more dependent on the human. So a wolf is much less likely to problem. A dog will look to the human for partnership, for teaming. They've done these studies, and they're beautiful to watch, where they'll hide a piece of food under a cup or a bucket or in a place where the dog has to discover how to get it out. It's difficult. Well, the wolves, one by one, would try to get that thing out and would just try to do it on their own and keep trying to do it on their own until they got frustrated. But they never once looked to the human for help or cooperation. A dog very quickly will get frustrated, can't get it, and then look to the human. Get frustrated, can't get it, look to the human. They're partnering with us. They partner with us in their everyday life. That's why, to me, to get a dog let them love you, form a relationship, and then abandon that dog, put that dog out, or the worst, people who take their dog out in the country or something and turn the dog loose. That is an evil level of betrayal that I cannot stand. I just cannot stand it. It's like having a relationship with somebody and then just suddenly not showing up. It's cruel. It's cruel. I always have a tendency to ramble. In fact, I'm rambling so much my throat's dry. I'm going to take a drink of water. I alluded to on the 6 and every Sunday at 8. These sheets that I give out these sheets with information when I train dogs, when I go to people's homes. And I websites, pet sitters, boarding facilities, my favorite veterinarian that I recommend. But I also give out these sheets that have rules for training success, promises to my dog, and all kinds of different information. And I wanted to take my sheets and kind of go through what they say and expound upon them. Expand upon them? Expound. Expand or expound. Maybe somebody can type in and tell me what the proper use of expand or expound is, but I will expand or expound upon these points. These are all things about training and about dog psychology and the way dogs are. And I wanted to just kind of use them as a launching pad for discussion. So anybody who wants to join in the discussion, please type in, and I will be glad to talk with you or talk back and forth with you about these points. Before I get started, I can't read this comment and it's driving me crazy. I want to get curious here. Shauna said, oh, look at me. Gosh, I get close up to this camera to try. Shanna says, I love it when we are birth to death. You are my kind of person. Let me tell you, Shanna or Shauna, maybe you can put in there how to pronounce it. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. You're my kind of person because a commitment to a dog is a commitment for life. Whether you adopt them at 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or 10 years, if you make that commitment and you say, I am adopting this dog, it is as serious as adopting a child, in my opinion. And you don't take it lightly, and you should make the decision with a very careful mind and heart. Giving up a dog, I don't want to get... In general, unless someone is in danger, I don't give up on a dog. That's just my opinion. Okay, let's start with my sheet. I have this sheet that I give out. One of the sheets I give out at all of my training appointments. But I love what it has to say. And it is called 10 Rules for Dog Training Success. And it's just 10 simple rules. And it's written by Karen A. Sukiasian. I think that's Armenian, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone else can answer that question. But Karen wrote up this list of 10 rules for dog training success, and I agree with them. And so I wanted to discuss this sheet with you. She says, well-mannered dogs don't just happen. Training them correctly is a labor of love and lots of fun. It's both. I always say dogs give us as many gifts as we give them. And so, for us to train, it gives us something as well as gives the dog something. Also, that well-mannered dogs don't just happen. They are a matter of raising them right. It's like saying a child should just know, or someone should just grow up knowing what to do. Well, you have to raise them. You have to teach. Puppy or dog develops inappropriate behaviors, then it becomes hard work. And I agree with that. It's never too soon to begin good habits, repetition, and gentle training. A dog under 3.5 to 4 months is... They're like a baby. So we don't want to be harsh or negative or hurt a dog when they're... Or we don't want to hurt a dog ever, but we don't want to hurt their feelings when they're under 3.5 to 4 months. Because at 3.5 to 4 months is when that brain really kicks in and can really start to retain training. Okay, up until that point, the brain will come and go. I call it the most 8 weeks. 8 weeks ideally, 8 to 10 weeks ideally when you adopt a puppy. They should be with their mother. Taking a dog away at 6 weeks is iffy, and before that, don't do it. There are circumstances where a dog might pass away, a mother dog might not be appropriate, and we have to take the puppies away. But if at all possible, puppies should stay with their mother for 8 to 10 weeks, because during that time, they learn an immeasurable amount of stuff about life. They learn what's too rough to play, what's too hard to bite, how to be corrected, how not to walk in their own waste and sleep in their own waste. They learn a bunch of things that we don't even fully understand. So again, I'm getting off track, but when you adopt that dog, begin good habits and repetition gently from the beginning. Have infant expectations of your dog, baby expectations of your dog. Up until that point, everything's forgivable. Everything's forgivable with a baby. If a baby throws something at you, you don't blame them. If a 20-year-old person throws something at you, it can bother you. You can be offended. Don't be offended when a small puppy does something wrong. We just take it as par for the course. Once they pass the 4-month mark, then we can start getting more strict with our expectations. Okay, this is one thing that I run into all the time, but this is something it says in this article. There are as many methods of dog training as there are dog training. With my method of dog training, you may agree with, disagree. Fine, it's your right to do it. But I believe in what I call the Dr. Phil School of Training. Dr. Phil tells his patients, I will give you the tools and you raise your kids how you see fit. So in other words, I'll that dog's parent. So you apply the rules of your household. Some houses may say the dog's not allowed on. That's your decision, that's your household. I just simply teach you how to achieve the results you want. So you apply those how you see fit. Positive reinforcement, punishment-free training is probably the least stressful and most rewarding for the majority of owners and dogs. It is quite simple. You reward your dog with positive feedback every time their behavior is appropriate. And I agree with that 99%. I don't believe in punishment. People say, I'm going to punish my dog. And when people say punish my dog, I take that to mean go to your room, go to your crate, or worse, spanking or hitting or something negative. I do not believe in that. However, a fair level of correction that is based on the way dogs communicate with each other. I also believe the result you want. So if a simple no has your dog stop what they're doing, great, that's enough. If they need a little bit more serious, no. Fine, but I don't believe in hitting, striking. I believe in the least amount of correction to achieve what it is you want to achieve with your dog. All right, next paragraph. I'm reading from this and then expanding on it, okay? Dogs learn by association. They learn appropriate behavior pleases the boss, and that should be you in the household. Humans should always be the alpha, the leader, the boss of the household. A dog looks at life as a pack order. Are you above or below, dominant or submissive, leader, follower, mom, child, dad, child? It's as simple as that. It's all done with attitude. You don't have to beat your dog into submission. You don't have to do something mean to get your dog to understand you're the boss of the house. One word. He would say, what? And that was it. That was enough. That's enough, right? All I had to have was him move in on me and quietly say, what? That was it. I knew I was going to be in trouble, so I just did him. That's all. It's not fear. It's not any level of respect for their parents. That's just logic, right? The other thing is my mom would do this thing, and I'm getting off track here, but she would pinch the back of my arm. So if we were out in public somewhere and I just feel her hand go on the back of my arm there, and if I didn't stop doing what I was doing, she would just pinch a little harder. And then if I kept doing what I was not supposed to be doing, she'd just start to twist. And by that point, I'm just saying, okay, enough, I give. So my parents controlled things with very little effort. And that's what an alpha dog is like. An alpha dog in a dog pack just believes they're the alpha. They present themselves as an alpha, and it's very quiet and it's very strong, and they win through being a leader. So that's just a simple idea about leadership and pack order. And then this is the rest of that paragraph. Life is good when the boss is happy. It's a win-win situation. They get what they want, the boss, and you get a well-behaved dog. Or the dog gets what they want and you get a well-behaved dog. A dog thrives on structure, order, leadership, borders, boundaries, limitations. They want to know what's the structure. A child wants to know. It's a gift to your dog to give them structure, leadership, discipline, and not mean discipline, just regular old order, structure, and you're the boss. So let me check the time here. I need to tap the screen to check the time so I don't go over. My gosh, I always say this every week. The time just flies on. So another sip of water. My mouth's drying out. All right, guys. Before we move on to the next half of this sheet, I always like to take a moment to tell you about my book, A Dog's Way. And A Dog's Way is a book I wrote. I'll put my face here, the logo for Wolf Driver here, and the book here, and then great. It's like having 3 screens on one. I'm getting better at this, by the way. I'm having some practice here. A Dog's Way is a book I wrote. It's subtitled How Dogs Make Us Better People, and it's available on Amazon.com. It's also available on my website, which is thedogcounselor.com. That's also where you can get a hold of me, thedogcounselor.com. And I can come to your home for in-home dog training if you're in the Nashville or surrounding state area within driving distance. If you're not, I do Skype visits, I do phone call training, I do... I actually travel. I've traveled all over the country. I've traveled everywhere to train dogs, and I'm happy to do it. I love doing it. I'm teaching some upcoming seminars. If you'd like to hire me for a seminar, I teach seminars. I'm teaching a seminar for the National Yorkie Rescue Organization here. They're coming to Nashville for a convention, and I'm giving a seminar there September 2nd if anybody happens to be around and wants to go to that seminar. I'm also teaching, I'm teaching several over the next year, but I don't remember when they all are, but we don't need to go into all of that. This is also my dog. I just like to brag about my dog. That's Henry, and he's on my shoulders, and he's on the back of my book, so I like to plug him every week. Before I get going on the list, let me get right up on the screen and look at some people who are talking to us, because I'd love to hear what you... Let's see. Okay. Oh, I had a Cocker Spaniel, 4 years old, that I had to put down. She said she had wild dog syndrome, or she turned on me and acted like she would... Citromon? Wild dog Citromon, or is it a typo that meant syndrome? I would be happy to... about it if I know some more information. Why don't you contact me through thedogcounselor.com, and I will try to get more information from you. This says here, Jojo says, I have my dog and her son now. Exciting to hear. Lots of people loving dogs here. Where are you? I am in Reno, Nevada. I am in Nashville, Tennessee, but I've been to Reno. I think it's called the biggest little city in the world or something like that. And you're right by Lake Tahoe, one of my favorite places in the world to go. And then Jojo says, hello from California. Hello, California. I used to live in California for a long time. I love it out there. I love it when people interact like this. Makes me feel like somebody's listening and I'm not just talking into the ether there. But let's get back to this sheet. Okay, I didn't write this, but I love what it has to say. So I'm going to go through here and just continue. I read the introduction paragraph and kind of went over that in detail with some of my philosophy. Let's talk about the list now. The 10 essential rules for successful dog training. And if I don't get all the way through this list, we'll just continue it next week. I'm sorry, Sunday. We'll continue at Sunday. Again, like I said, I'm here Thursday nights at 6 Central Time. I'm here Sunday nights at 8 Central Time. And I'll be glad to get back on this list if I don't complete it today. So, on the list of essential rules for successful dog training, number 1, set your dog up to succeed. Boy, I couldn't agree with that more. Begin with reasonable, undemanding expectations. This shared experience should be fun, not stressful for you and your dog. One of the big mistakes is that owners expect too much too fast. And if you will set your dog up to succeed, that dog will want to do more and want to do more and learn more. People try to get their dog to come, sit, stay, lie down, do all this stuff, do all this stuff, do all this stuff, do it quick, and the dog gets frustrated. All levels, right? If you have a dog and you can simply get them to come your way. So you say, for example, let's say your dog's name is Joe. Joe, come. And he comes to you, and a dream for your dog. Your dog is like, you mean I did something right? You mean I pleased my alpha dog? I pleased my mom? I pleased my dad? It's kind of like a little kid getting an A on their report card. You know when a little kid says, look, I got an A on my report card, and you say, oh, I'm so proud of you. That's incredible. You know, or I like this analogy. You know, let's say a kid is in kindergarten, and they draw a picture, they paint a picture, and then they bring it to you. And if you say, oh, that's so beautiful, that's amazing, I'm going to put it on my refrigerator, and you're the greatest kid ever, that makes that kid full of love, full of life, feel good about themselves. Same with your dog. When your dog can succeed and do one small thing, celebrate. I always say catch them doing something right as often as you catch them doing something wrong. You see your dog laying there being perfect, just tell him, good dog, good boy. He goes and sits in front of you for no special reason but other than to sit and look at you. Good dog. Tell him how great he is. I mean, celebrate your relationship with your dog. You know, overtraining a dog, like telling a dog to do 15,000 things all at once, is like a kid comes up to you with a picture and says, look at the picture I painted. And you say, well, that's pretty good, but paint me 6 more and 5 more pages and I'll tell you if it's any good. That's too much. Just don't put that on a kid. Don't put that on a dog. Let them, set them up for success. Like this rule says, set them up for success slowly and gently. Okay. Number 2, keep it simple. Use one-word commands whenever possible. It is easier for your dog to comprehend one word than an entire paragraph. Absolutely. I believe that commands should have a little bit of authority behind them, and they should not be a negotiation. So, for example, we tend to say to a dog, come here, come here, come on, let's get some food, come on, let's go to bed, come on. I mean, what are they supposed to get from that? Because you've asked them to do something, and when they don't respond immediately, you begin changing what it is you're asking of them. You begin adding 100 words. You begin making it complicated. You know, we need it to be simple. Joe, come. I blanked out for a minute, said I was trying to reconnect there. I hope I didn't lose you guys. A dog, you know, you say, Joe, come. A dog can get their head around that. They can't get their head around, come here, I told you to come here, okay, we're going to get some dinner, okay, let's go to bed, okay. It's too much. They're not word-oriented, but they are interested in what you're saying with authority. And so let's try to keep it like that. Simple one-word commands, okay? I think, and silence is very powerful. You know, a lot of times people say, for example, sit, and then the dog doesn't sit immediately. So they say sit, 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 sit. So that's the same thing as saying a paragraph of information. You don't want to say it 50 times. You want to say sit. Wait a second. It's got to go from human mind to human word and translate into canine and then go through the body and the system in a way the dog understands. Really just give it a few seconds when they're learning, okay? Just give it some time. Sit and wait. If they don't get it in 4 or 5 seconds, try it again. Sit. And then there are other methods I can teach you too, but don't just keep saying words. Sit, 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 sit. It's really obnoxious, okay? So let's go on to number 3. This to all my clients. Be fair, okay? Don't expect your dog to read your mind. Make sure they understand what you are expecting. and demonstrate another way what you want them to do. If they do the furniture, well, what am I supposed to do? Here's a chew toy. Here's a bone. Here's a thing you're supposed to chew. No to this, yes to this. Positive, negative, right, wrong, black, white, good, bad, dominant, submissive. That is what a dog can understand really easily and really clearly. The other thing is, a lot of times we get a puppy or a new, just go walking. Well, how's the dog supposed to know what that's about? That's a baby. You know what a leash is for, but for a dog, it's the first time something's been wrapped around their neck and is pulling. They think they're being choked to death. You know, just relax. Let them get used to seeing it. Let them get used to feeling it on their neck. Let them get used to kind of holding it, dragging it around. We learn to drive a car in a parking lot with no one around. And we first learn how to start the ignition. And we learn how the windshield wipers work. And we learn how the gear shift works. We take it in baby steps. People want to just go off and running with a leash, go walking down the street or something, or just have their dog do everything all at once. Your dog needs to be raised with basics at home, nursery school. Don't just go off and running. Fortunately, a dog will grow up in a year and a half. They're young adults, okay? You don't have to wait 18 years for them to reach young adulthood. So be patient, be calm, and take it in baby steps. All right, let me check the time here just to be sure we're on track. I have about 4 minutes left. Let me see what other comments have come up here real quickly. Okay. Let's see here. Should I take my dog to the vet immediately as she got into our meatloaf and ate a lot of it and it had onion in it? Well, I don't think I would be getting online asking a dog trainer medical advice if I was worried about my dog. Call the vet, see what they say. Call the pet emergency line. There are many pet emergency lines in every area. Just please, get medical advice. I am not a doctor. I'm not a vet. I would not be online, asking a trainer that kind of information. I'd be on the phone trying to figure out where the nearest emergency vet is and ask them, or ask you could even search how damaging onions are or how much onions are damaging. That really worries me, that question. It's going to make me worried about whether the safety of that dog. Shauna writes, I always tell people dogs are like a 5-year-old child. They understand 250 words, so be patient. I also know people don't think about the hard parts of having a dog. They get sick like we do. I don't hit my dogs. Good. You should never have to hit your dogs. I have a question. Why does my 2-year-old pit bull hit my 5-pound teacup Chihuahua? To see that, it's not very clear in your description what you're talking about. Hits your dog? Do you mean like paws your dog? The difference between a pit bull and a Chihuahua, they don't know they're different sizes or different breeds. They just know they're two dogs. And so one may be more dominant than the other, or they may be sort of an equal level or trading off. I don't know unless I see them and meet them. It's always the individual. It's not the breed. Okay, so to say all pit bulls are dominant, that's a falsehood. All Chihuahuas are submissive, that's a falsehood. There's every kind of, just like a person, there's every kind of personality. There's dominant, submissive, sweet, shy, assertive, not assertive, in every kind of breed. So let's not make any broad generalizations. I try to make individual assessments based on each dog I meet, just like humans. So I don't I don't judge someone by their gender, their race. Well, this is a nice person, this is a mean person, this is a shy person, this is an aggressive person. And I kind of take the same approach with dogs. I have seen the sweetest, most beautiful, submissive pit bulls. I have seen the most aggressive, hardcore killer Chihuahuas in my life. I have scars from a Chihuahua. That sometime about dogs that have almost killed me. That'll be a whole different episode if you want to talk about that. But anyway, I'm digressing here. Let me check the time because I think I may be talking over here. Okay, I got 30 seconds left. I want to take this 30 seconds to tell everybody thank you, thank you, thank you for tuning in. I hope you'll share this with your friends, share this page, tell people about this. You know, come and join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Time, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central Time. I'm always here to talk to you about your dog advice. I'm here to help you if you want to contact me through thedogcounselor.com. I love hearing from you guys. I love answering your questions, and I love talking. Audience for the Wolf Driver channel. This is a whole page of dog information, the Wolf Driver page, and dog yoga, and incredible stuff. So tell your friends, please bring them back, share this information, and I look forward to seeing you on Sunday at 8 o'clock, and we'll continue this list of 10 rules for training success for your dog. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.